Following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Welcome in the morning on Main Street on this beautiful Tuesday, January 11th, 2022. Good job, man, over there. Welcome in to another fantastic show we got for today. A lot of good things are happening today, and, of course, we'll have some fun. We got the comic strip tease, celebrity birthdays, really cool guests this morning. We got Miss Cheap joining us at 7:30. Jared Stillman from 102.5 The Game, 7:40, very loud, fun sports radio guy is going to join us because there's something happening at Vanderbilt tonight that's driving a lot of us crazy, and Jared's got some opinions about that. We'll talk to him coming up at 7:40. Then at 7:10, Lori Bumgarner. She's a career coach. I don't know if you saw the stats that in November, like 400 zillion people quit their jobs. And it's just this whole thing now, what's going on with jobs and people and career changes and things that are happening. So Lori's going to join us here and try to navigate all that because there's a lot that's going on right now. Of course, the big news from last night, intern, join me this morning. Good to see you, my friend. The University of Georgia is your national champion. They beat Alabama last night. Intern, did you watch any of the game?
I did, actually, yes. I watched it up until about the third or middle of the third quarter. But it was when the pick six happened. I know that was fourth quarter, actually. So after the pick six.
You get there.
Goodness gracious.
All right. So there it is in this morning's edition of the Main Street National paper. Georgia beats Bama for the title, and they come back fourth quarter. Great second half by Georgia. They win. Now, we've got a really cool video for you. This, during the game, you have coaches on the field, and you got coaches up in the press box. The coordinators usually are up there calling the game. This is video from the suites when the Georgia coaches, after the game, running through the lobby into the elevator, getting down on the field. And so, intern, you want to hit it? Okay, game's over. View up there by looking down. Georgia's happy. Then the camera will pan off to the lobby. And here come the coaches from Georgia. Only one coach has the proper form to run. The other one, I'm not sure what they're doing. There's one there. Can you imagine all that hard work and time? Alabama just kicked your butt a month ago. But hey, on the national championship, hold on, look at that one usher. He's like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. There you go. So Georgia wins the national championship. Intern, did you bet on them last night?
Well, I actually bet on Alabama to to score more than 18 points, which all they did was score 18, and to win by 10. So, no, I did not have them winning.
Smart man. You are a smart man. I almost bet last night and took Bama, and then I didn't do it. And so I was like, all right, I couldn't do it just because I always lose. So there you go.
Then don't you feel like you feel good about yourself whenever you don't place a bet?
I know. And then usually you win it and you're like, why didn't I? And that's how they get you. It's like golf.
Right.
Golf, you're terrible for 17 holes, and the 18th hole you birdie it. You're like, you know what?
I'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm going to come back out next week. Same thing. And you're awful. And it goes on and on. Good. All right. Main Street Nashville E-Edition has been released this morning. A lot of great stories in there. Want to give you one here. Let's see. State briefs. Representative Jim Cooper tests positive for COVID-19. He shared the news in a social media post on Saturday. I've tested positive. Thankfully, I only have mild symptoms because I've been vaccinated and received my booster. Get well, Congressman. We hope you're okay. Also, today's Wear Blue Day to raise awareness about human trafficking. And that's become a big deal in the last several years in Nashville because so many interstates collide here in town. This has been like a place where a lot of that is happening. And so let's stop that. 110 human trafficking arrests in Tennessee, Kentucky in 2021, 130% increase from 48 the previous fiscal year. Got to stop that, man. All right. Also today, a good story, which is just, I read this story, man, and I was like, what in the world is happening? But our intern, you see this? In the first U.S. surgeons transplant a pig heart into a human patient. Now, I'm not sure. Is that the
human was cool with that, right?
He lived, so I guess he is.
Wow.
Doctors transplanted a pig heart into a patient in a last-ditch effort to save his life. And Maryland Hospital said Monday that he's doing well 3 days after the highly experimental surgery. Those are 3 words, intern, that I never want used when describing me. Highly experimental surgery.
Yeah, that's just a fancy way of saying, I don't know.
Right? We'll give it a try,
yeah, We're definitely going to give it a shot.
I mean, it's like us in this TV show. Throw it against the wall, see if it sticks.
Yeah.
That picture there is disconcerting.
What's that, a bucket?
I don't know, but you know what? They earn every penny. Nurses, doctors earn absolutely every penny for what they do because, again, I'm not sure what that's, but hopefully it goes well. And the man, 57-year-old man, is doing well, it says, and hopefully he lives a nice long life.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor, and I don't play one on TV, and I don't know anything else beyond that. All right, so the National Banner is really cool. Get the headlines. The National Banner 50 years ago. I like this little column to the right over here. Work starts on the new Y in downtown Nashville. Yes, that Y you see on Church Street, that same Y that they're going to destroy. It says to the right here, they're going to knock down. October 2021, the YMCA unveiled plans to build a 60-story residential tower and transform its downtown location with a new 100,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility. The building will be demolished. I used to go down and play racquetball all the time, and now it's going bye-bye. So, hey, it's progress, but 60 stories down there, keeping the Y as kind of the anchor thing is well done. The Nashville Predators back on home ice tonight. They take on, who do they take on? Intern, you're a big Preds fan.
They said it heard it on the way here. It was.
Is it Colorado in town? Colorado, Nashville, 7 p.m. tonight.
Yeah, it was the Avalanche.
Look at the Preds at top of the Western Conference.
I know. And the Tennessee Titans, baby. Let's go.
Are the Grizzlies in first too?
I'm not sure, but
we have a lot of. I'm sure not. Oh, let's go to this next page. That's why I love the Main Street Nashville the edition. Let's see if Memphis is in first. Oh my goodness!
How about it?
There are 5 games. What a great moment for the state of Tennessee. The Preds in first, Titans the first seed, and the Memphis Grizzlies rolling, man.
If it wasn't for those dang Boilermakers.
We're past that, man.
You're right. Hey, I'll get over it.
Don't call a crappy call on 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line, Josh Heupel. Yeah. Hey, Miss Cheap's going to join us at 7:30. She has 22 things you should do in 2022. Let's go over this here. Oh, look at JoJo in the paper today. This is nice. It's a great article. I wrote it, so absolutely it's good. It's about if you want to change your life, you have everything you need. You know where it is? It's inside of you. Read the article and it explains it. Thank you very much. All right, intern, what's your zodiac sign?
It is a Taurus.
All right. You'll have trouble making up your mind Don't expect others to agree with you or offer help without getting something in return. Put more effort into the way you look
All right. Okay.
and present what you have to offer. That's why the girl at McDonald's won't go out with you in the drive-thru.
Well, the thing is, this article doesn't know that in 2013, I won most fashionable at my school.
Did you really?
I actually did. Got a plaque and everything.
What school is this?
Lebanon High School.
Oh, that explains
It's equivalent to like the Harvard of Lebanon.
Okay. All right, time for a comic strip tease today. Today we're reading from Sherman's Lagoon. I'm not sure what this is about, but we're going to do it. So reading the voice of the little guy there is myself. I'll be reading the voice as George Plaster. Intern, do you have a voice?
Yes, I'm going to be Zach Galifianakis.
Okay. All right, here's Sherman's Lagoon, brought to you by the intern and myself. 3, 2, and scene. Now, hold on a second. Has your agent? I've sent your headshots to dozens of corporations. I've already heard back from several.
And
Go.
do they want me to endorse their products?
That's an awful thing.
So bad, I can't do it.
Not exactly. Now, hold on a second. I don't know much about nothing, but they want to seek you as a personal trainer.
Ain't happening. That was just my regular voice, everyone. I apologize for that.
You can always default to something else.
I know.
That.
I didn't want to switch character. I felt like I had to stay true.
Okay, well, that's admirable from you. I got that. All right, thank you, Sherman's Lagoon. That is, I don't just get that cartoon. Why that's all right. I don't know. But I couldn't do a cartoon because you got to do something funny every day like that. We barely make it through this show every day.
Maybe one thing each.
All right. That's terrible. All right. We'll come back. Lori Bumgarner is going to join us. She's a career coach. There's a lot happening out in the career field. She's one of the best to navigate what all that's going on there. And we'll talk to Lori next. You're watching Mornings on Main Street.
Welcome to Main Street Nashville. Our newly launched e-edition allows you to read our paper online from anywhere in the world. You are in control of how and when you read or listen. Subscribers can access our e-edition online at mainstreet-nashville.com or on a smartphone or tablet using our Main Street Nashville app. In a browser, today's and all previous issues are available at the click of a button. Main Street Nashville is fully responsive. Click and drag your cursor to move the paper left and right. To see photos and text at a larger scale, double-click on a page. Clicking print will allow you to print an article or crossword at your convenience. View photo galleries and videos by clicking the icon on an image. Click play on videos once the screen appears. Main Street Nashville's e-edition is a simple, new way to interact with and consume news. Access the full e-edition of Main Street Nashville on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Read whatever you want, whenever you want. If you have any questions, we're here to help. Call us at 615-527-4104 or email us at news@mainstreetnash.com.
All right, welcome back into Mornings on Main Street right there. A little traffic cam for you downtown. Band, great job again. You guys are doing fantastic. I love the energy and love the effort every morning with you guys. All right, let's bring in Lori Bumgarner now. She's a career coach joining us. Lori, how are you? And good morning to you.
Good morning, Joe. I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on Main Street. How are you?
I'm doing well. I saw your interview with Channel 2 this weekend. Great job. And I've known you for a while, and you do such a fantastic job. And I got to think, as a career coach and navigating people through all that's going on right now, that you're probably working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Have you ever seen anything like this?
I haven't. I mean, I don't think anyone's ever seen anything that's happened because of a pandemic. I mean, we've not experienced a pandemic before. And so no one knew what to expect. I think early on in the pandemic, a lot of people thought that they were going to be losing their jobs. I don't think a year later they thought they'd be leaving their jobs voluntarily if they had one. So, yeah, it's been unprecedented.
My mother always told me, never leave a job unless you have another job. And I think that advice is out the window these days. People are just unhappy and not putting up. There's a lot of reasons people leave jobs, but the ones that I know have left the jobs are just amazingly unhappy at work. How do we get to this point?
I think a lot of it has to do with, people are just really wanting to discover their purpose and work in their purpose and have a job where they know they're making an impact. And if they can't see that direct impact, if their employer can't show them how they're directly impacting the world or their company or the people that they serve, then they start to question that. And I think too, with the pandemic, people have realized, hey, I can work from home, and it actually kind of works better for them. And so that has a lot to do with it too. And, I've never had anyone come to me and say, I really want to leave my job because I just don't feel like I'm micromanaged enough. That's another reason why a lot of people leave their jobs, some for another job, some to start their own thing.
The website, musiccitycareercoach.com. I love the panache. I love the website. I love what you do. What's the first thing when people come to you and say, look, I want to make a career change? What's the first thing you tell them?
Well, one of the things that I do differently from most career coaches is I don't immediately start them on a bunch of career assessments. That's what some people, when they come to me, they expect to see that. And I assure them, we're not going to start there because there's several reasons why. But a lot of people come to me mid-career wanting to do something different. And if they sit down and take a bunch of career assessments with the mindset and the lens that they've had on for the past several years, it's just going to tell them, hey, you'd be great at doing the thing you're trying to leave, which is very discouraging. So I usually want to start with them and helping them really rediscover who they are, what their skills are, what their interests are, by a different process than just career assessments or personality assessments.
When you do that, and do sometimes, because I don't know, if I'm sitting down talking to you and you're like, hey, let's do this different approach, and what are you good at, and here's what you're good at, I got to think that's a little positive reinforcement, because here you are telling me that even though I left a job and I'm kind of unsure what's going on right now, you're telling me and like giving me like, all right, you're good at this, you're good at that, and you're building this like agreement staircase of making me feel good. At least that's what I think I would take away from it.
Yeah, it is a little bit more encouraging, and I really love encouraging people. That's one of the gifts that I get to use in everything I do, especially in the career coaching I do with my clients. And so, yeah, I mean, a lot of clients come to me feeling beaten down just from the management of a past job, or being told, hey, you're just not a good fit. So, let's help them find that fit. That's what I really want to help them do, because fit is so important on both sides of the desk. I mean, employers are looking for someone who's going to be a good fit for their culture, and the employee is looking for something or should be looking for something that's a good fit for them and their skills.
How did Lori Bumgarner become a career coach?
I have been a career coach for over 20 years. I've done it my entire career. I think I'm one of the few career coaches who's done career coaching their entire career, but I started out in college career services. I actually got my master's in higher ed administration, and there's a lot of different routes you can go with that, because there's a lot of different things in colleges and universities that someone can work in, a lot of areas they can work in. And career services was my focus. And actually, that's how you and I met. When I was the assistant director of the Career Center at Vanderbilt, I had you come in and serve on a panel to speak to our students who wanted to go into media. So I want to thank you for doing that so many years ago. And now thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, I tried to talk all them out of going into media, and I hope I was successful in doing all that. That was a long time ago, and I do remember that. Thank you. And I got a nice little, was it a medallion or a little medal to come over there and do that? And so really, thank you. I like this. On your website, musiccitycareercoach.com, the free thing, 8 steps to get you out of your career rut. Without giving all 8 away, what's the first step?
It really comes down to goal setting, but not just goal setting, is how to achieve your goals. And I walk you through that process in that 8-step plan. So it's not just like making New Year's resolutions. It's about setting goals that can actually be achievable and how to break those down into smaller steps. And that can be, for your career, or it can be things surrounding your career.
As you're sitting there talking, I'm reading your website, which is very in-depth, and I like your website. I've come to the conclusion that what you're a guidance counselor for adults.
Yes. Yeah, you could call it that. Exactly.
And my guidance counselor in high school was awful, but he was fun. So I'm glad there's a guidance counselor out there like yourself who is good at what they do in their job. And the reassurance we don't need pats on the back every day, but you see, Lori, all these people leaving their jobs and they need direction. They need focus. This is like being a high school senior, but you're doing it for adults and doing it quite well.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm really interested in helping people pursue their purpose and their passions, but I also do it in a realistic way, because you have to be realistic. I understand that people have families that they've got to support. They've got mortgages to pay. So it's finding that balance between, making good money, making good choices, and doing what's in your purpose. And I like to have fun too. I actually have taken clients out paddleboarding before, because you know what, they just sometimes need a break from things, and it really clears their head, and they are able to make clear decisions after that.
Do you recommend, if somebody wants to reach out to you and they're going to quit their job, do you recommend don't quit their job right now? Let me talk to you, and because maybe they might have the perfect job, just don't realize it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Because sometimes it might just mean making a lateral move within your own company to a different department to be able to find that better fit. It could be a lot of different things, because I like to explore a lot of different options, a lot of different things. And that's one of the reasons too why I'm not really huge on starting off with career assessments in the beginning, is because a lot of the results of those career assessments aren't going to factor in some of those other options. They don't quite stay up to date with what's going on in the current world of work.
We're not paddleboarding today, are we?
Not today, but I have been known to paddle in the wintertime.
Ignorant question from my perspective. Do you fall in, and what do you get out of it?
In this past 7.5 years I've been paddleboarding, I think I've fallen in twice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't get in the water to paddleboard. I have a little dock that I just, get onto my board. I don't have to get in the water, thank goodness. What do I get out of it? Oh gosh, I really just melts all my stress away. It clears my head, helps me think better, and it relaxes me. But at the same time, I'm getting a great workout in.
Paddleboarding might be in relation to a career change for those who haven't done it, to make that step, right? To make that faith. You've not done paddleboarding and maybe take a career change, but take that step of faith. Do you see the correlation between the two?
It's definitely, getting out of your comfort zone. When I've taken clients paddleboarding before for the first time, they're a little nervous. And so, for the first 20 minutes, all they're focusing on is not ending up in the water. But then after about 20 minutes of, giving them a little bit of instruction and then just talking with them, like, hey, what's been going on with you this past week as we're paddling down the water? It's like, okay, when was the last time you thought about falling in? And they're like, oh, come to think of it, I haven't thought much about that since we started. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's well done. Lori Bumgarner, musiccitycareercoach.com. Thank you for your time. Like I said, I saw you this weekend on TV. You're doing a great job with all this. And hopefully it all calms down in the future. I think it will. And I'm glad you're there to help people out, Lori. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Joe. Good to see you.
You too as well. Lori Bumgarner, musiccitycareercoach.com. And a lot of people, those numbers from the last quarter of 2021 were staggering. So many people quitting their jobs. And there's all these rhymes and reasons and different things that was going on for this. And So maybe it all calms down and people will find a job and be happy. That's the goal. That's the goal, is to be happy. All right, Lori, thank you. Coming up a little bit, Miss Cheat. When we come back, though, we're going to show you our pet of the week from last week. It was a crazy time last week with the snow and everything. We'll do the pet of the week again. We want you to meet Artie. He's beautiful. And that's next. You're watching Mornings on Main Street.
Every year, it costs Tennessee more than $15 million to clean up roadside litter. It's time to keep your trash to yourself and our roadways clear, because nobody trashes Tennessee.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
I thought it was good.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal. It was no big deal.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. I thought I could hold my liquor.
Okay, my camera.
Is your roof in need of repairs? Maybe it's time for a full roof replacement. If so, choose Middle Tennessee's #1 rated roofer. Tim Leeper Roofing has provided the Nashville area with outstanding residential and commercial services for nearly 2 decades. And with hundreds of 5-star reviews, Tim Leeper Roofing has satisfied thousands of homeowners. To schedule a free and honest estimate, find us online at timleeperroofing.com.
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. That's Ellington Parkway on the T-Dot Smartway camera there. Everything is going smooth there. You know what's cool about that stretch of road in Nashville is that all the new people that moved here don't know about Ellington Parkway, so they get stuck on 65. But all the local yokels, we know about this road. And then so I zip right downtown. Like we go to the Titans game, boop, straight shot. So hopefully all the new people moving here won't know anything about that road. All right, welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. Thank you, Lori Bumgarner, for the advice, for being the career coach. Again, MusicCityCareerCoach.com. As we do every Thursday, we bring you a brand new pet of the week. And so last week, with the snow that was going on, a lot of things that were happening, you may not have gotten to see our pet of the week. So we're going to do it for you again. This is brought to you by Hunter, Briley, and Regal Realty Group. They're a great job partnering with us to bring you the pet of the week each time. So the intern and I went over to Mount Juliet Animal Care and Control to meet a guy named Artie. Now, Artie is a senior. He's about 9 years old. And you'll see in the story that we tell you here, his world's been taken upside down, as you'll see why. So I want you guys to meet Artie, and he's beautiful. This is our pet of the week. Okay, my friends, this week we've come down to Mount Juliet Animal Care and Control, and let's meet Artie. Hi, buddy. What a beautiful dog. He's 9 years old, and Artie's got a sad story. His owner recently passed away, so they brought him up here to the Mount Juliet Animal Care and Control, where they hope he would find another loving family. So you got to just know the emotions this big guy is going through. Living with somebody for about 9 years, next thing you know, his owner's gone. So like all the dogs in the shelter, he does not belong here, but Artie is so sweet, so nice, behaves, really cool, kind of hanging out right now, but his world is a whole different place because his owner passed away. So Artie, we think is some sort of a terrier mix. We're not sure, but we do know that he's 100% adorable. Yes, he is, and he's a good boy. He just sits there and obeys and really nice. So if you're looking for a really sweet dog, I know some of you guys like to adopt senior dogs who are looking for a second chance, and Artie's just got a sad story. He would be perfect for you. Yeah, look at him. He loves that. He's currently hanging out at Mount Juliet Animal Care and Control. He's been here for a couple of days. And again, Artie's world is upside down. Owner passed away, been with him for 9 years, and now he's looking for a second part of his life. So if you're looking for a cute senior dog who's really nice, really friendly, going through a lot. Artie is your guy. So come see him at Mount Juliet Animal Care and Control. There's the website and the phone number on the screen right now. And you can come see. Hey, Artie, how you doing, buddy? Come here, Artie. I'm going to rub his head for you. Yeah, he's a sweet boy. Yeah, there you go. So well behaved. So there's information for you right there to make Artie part of your family. We'll take care of everybody. We'll make sure you're okay. Again, thanks to Hunter, Briley, and Regal Realty Group for their sponsorship for our Pet of the Week. Artie, you want to thank Hunter? Because you're going to get yourself a nice little home, buddy. All right, there you go, my friends. That's our Pet of the Week featuring my man, Artie. There you go. So make Artie part of your family. Again, thank you all out there who adopted so many of the puppy dogs we've shown on Mornings on Main Street since the 1st of October. We've been doing this segment since August. You guys have been fantastic, and you send me your pictures and everything else that goes on. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I know a few weeks ago, it's been about 6 weeks ago, we showed you the dog Nestle. Him and his wife and their 9 kids were found abandoned in a parking lot up here in Lebanon. I'm pleased to report they've all been adopted out, and that mom and dad were adopted out together. So New Leash on Life in Lebanon does a fantastic job of saving and rescuing these pets, and the staff and the volunteers here at New Leash on Life in Lebanon. Thank you and God bless you. So mom and dad are together, and 9 kids have found their homes. So that's your good news on a Tuesday. I love it. More good news. Miss Cheap joins us next right here. You're watching Mornings on Main Street.
Coach Hunt, Jim Toman at Middle Tennessee State. Wanted to give you a shout out and congratulate you on an unbelievable career. Love for you to come this fall or in the spring to Middle Tennessee State and talk baseball, or maybe even chat to my team, maybe catch a game or two. Just an unbelievable run that you've had. There's very few college baseball coaches that have done what you've done, Coach. And I want you to enjoy the retirement. I know you're still working in the athletic department, but take it easy, have fun, stay safe, and just proud of you and all your accomplishments.
I'm Tim Leeper, I own Tim Leeper Roofing, and we do residential and commercial service and replacement. We're basically your friends in the roofing business. We're local, we can help you, we're quick to respond. Without customers, we don't have a business. So if there's anything we can do to help you, please don't hesitate to call.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think about calling for a ride. Nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that can happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone.
All right, welcome back to Mornings on Main Street, Lebanon Road, Briley Parkway. Okay, I see that's coming from I-40 towards Opryland, which, by the way, makes me laugh, and we'll ask Ms. Cheap about this too, to get her reaction, because it's funny, Opryland's been gone since 1997. There's still street signs on the interstate around town that still say Opryland exit, Opryland exit. I know it's the hotel, I get all that, but those signs were not for the hotel. They were for Opryland USA back in the day. All right, welcome back here to Mornings on Main Street. Let's waste no time and bring in our good friend, Miss Cheap, this morning. She has new articles every Tuesday in Main Street, Nashville. Of course, you get the e-edition delivered right to your inbox. Good morning, Miss Cheap.
Good morning. How are you?
I don't know. I'm doing well, thank you. But that makes me laugh. The signs for Opryland still around town, because for us that have been here for so long, we always say, hey, go to Opryland and out that way. We're never going to get rid of that, are we?
I guess not, but the actual exit for Opryland is now the exit for Opry Mills. So, Opry Mills is on the site that was the park. But I just hated that the park went away. I loved the park. My kids loved the park. I think everybody in town and out of town liked it.
Oh, me too. My Christmas present each year from my mother was a season pass to Opryland. It was like $30, and we went 1,000 times. It was the perfect gift.
Yeah, we got the season passes too, and we wore them out. I'm telling you, it was great.
All right, I love your article again today. We're going to put it up here on the screen. 22. Let me make sure I get it correct here. 20. Hold on, I got it. Here we go. All right, 22 things you should do in 2022. An article like this, do you sit down, Miss Cheap, and think, all right, I got to come up with a couple of things, and pretty soon you get 3, then you get 5, then you get 10, you got 15. Did that happen to you?
Oh yeah, and there are more. It's just on this time around, and I've done this, before on different occasions, but it's so many things were closed because of COVID that everything had to be checked because some things are still not completely open like they used to be. So, I was just trying to make sure that everything that I included was something that people could do and that I thought they should do. But I tried to make it a combination of fun things to do. And then at the end of it, I have a few things that I think are just smart things to do to keep yourself in line for the new year.
I love number 1. It's so simple, yet it's so powerful. Plan a staycation or series of staycation outings. Last week, we had Howard Kittle on from the Hermitage, and I heard from so many people, Ms. Cheap, who live here for a while that have never been to the Hermitage.
Well, that's true. And the same thing with the Parthenon and some of the other attractions. And so if you do a staycation, it's a pretty easy thing. There are plenty of choices and you don't have to make it a whole week. You could just do a staycation every week for, probably for the next year to find good places to go. I mean, there's no point in these out-of-towners coming in here and having all the fun.
I love the fact that you put the National Museum of African American Music downtown in here. So many people have gone down there, and that place is simply fantastic.
Well, I think, downtown has changed so much, and there's so many more offerings with the museum and with the Fifth and Broad and with some other things that have been added downtown and changed around that's another thing to do. I think people should maybe do a little field trip downtown and just see what's changed. And it's a great time to just walk around and see what's new. You can also see the progress on 2nd Avenue of how they're rebuilding. And it's just fun to walk along the river down there too. Downtown has got so much to offer.
It does. And you're a big advocate of the Tennessee State Parks. We talk about it all the time. And reading your time with number 4 here, enjoy time in our beautiful Tennessee State Parks. And catches my eye. Admission is free, and many of the individual park programs are free. And there's a website. Why are the parks, Ms. Cheap, so important to you?
Well, Tennessee is one of the actually few states that has free admission into all of our parks, and we have 56 parks. And the parks people tell me that there's a state park within about 30 minutes of every person who lives in Tennessee, and they're all different. I mean, Bicentennial Mall State Park is an urban park downtown. It's a very small park compared to some of the larger ones like Montgomery Bell or Fall Creek Falls. But they're all different. Some of them are history parks. Some of them are parks where you can go mountain biking. Some of them are parks where where they have lodges, and some have cabins. Some have camping. There's something for everybody. And if you don't want to camp, I'm not a camper. That's not in my
right.
I'm not going to do that. But the cabins are great, and you can make a day trip from a lot of these places too. So it's just a great chance to get outside, and the programs they have with the rangers are just amazing. And most of them are free or have a nominal charge.
Number 9, this is really cool. Exercise being part of it. Take your own DIY mural tour. And I would have never thought about this, but Ms. Cheap, thank you. This is a beautiful idea.
Well, the murals have just sort of popped up all over town in the last couple of years. And the Music City Convention and Visitors Corp has put together a list of the locations of the murals. So they make it pretty easy for you to go around and shoot your selfies or just see the murals. And they're all, there's everything from Dolly Parton to, the Strong Nashville. I mean, there's all kind of things that you could get your picture taken with, and that you can just see the artwork. I mean, they're fun. Mas Taco even has one. Mas Taco is my favorite cheap place to eat. We'll have to feature that one day.
Yes, I love that. Is a very, very good place. I love this too. Number 15, which people need to do. I did it last year and they had to run me out because I was there all day. Visit the Tennessee State Museum. That's number 15 on the list. It's vital to see the history of Nashville, Miss Cheap. And as you know, they do a great job with that museum down there.
Well, and it's free all the time too. And since it's down there with the Bicentennial Mall and with the Farmers Market and with the state capitol, you can put all those together for a really nice day of history to look at it from a lot of different standpoints. But the State Museum, it used to be down in the basement of a building downtown, and it was sort of retrofitted to make it into a museum, where this one was created as a museum, and it's just beautiful. It's got exhibits that are there all the time, and then it's got a number of rooms that change so that they can bring new things in. So it's constantly changing, free all the time. They even have story times for the kids. They have lectures and different programs, and I think more of those are being added. Everything, as I said, got kind of shut down for COVID, but they're adding more programming there, and it's just they really know what they're doing over there.
I love the fact that you added the farmer's market, visit the farmer's market next door. Every time I go there, it's always something new I discover, something fun I discover. The diversity there is amazing. And I don't think, me personally, does not talk about the farmer's market as much as I should.
Well, I've been wanting to do a story on 10 places at the farmer's market where you could eat under $10. And I just need to go do my research. But it should be fun because it is very diverse, and it's like a food court. So you can go, and if you've got a group, everybody can get what they want and then come together at a table, inside or outside.
What I like about this, Ms. Cheap, is these are all activities for the family, and they're all like exercise indirectly related, because there's a lot of moving around, not a lot of sitting that's going on, and that's one reason I like this list.
Well, I had fun putting it together, and I see some things that I need to do too. So I've got some on my personal list too to get out there and take in. There's Nashville has so much to offer. It really does.
You're right. What's funny is people come to town that I know, like, what should we do? And this is, we all have our different ways of telling people where to go and what to do. And I always tell them three things, and this is odd. I tell them to go to the Ryman, to go to the Hermitage, and go to Zanies. For some reason, those three things, I just love those three places in our town.
Well, I've never been to Zanies. Maybe I need to go.
Oh, have you not?
No, I have not.
I think they have like some kind of show every single night that goes on. And on Monday, they've got New Material Monday. So like all these comedians, even some really, really famous comedians will come through town, get on the stage and try out their new material. Really? It is a really cool thing.
What's the cover charge? How much is the cover charge?
I think it's $5.
Hey, we're talking now.
So evidently it's played off what they have a place out in Los Angeles, a comedy store where they do the same thing on Monday nights. All these new comedians come out and try out their new routines, and the place is packed, and it's $5, and it does really good. And, again, you're putting people to work. You got servers making money, bartenders making money. So it's a really cool thing. But
I'm so glad you told me that.
I'm the Ryman, the Hermitage, and Zanies. I just think those three things are so unique to our city and offer so much.
Well, the Hermitage and most of the attractions around town have some time that they are free or reduced cost. So if people don't, want to spend the big bucks to go to some of these places, just watch the column, and I'll try to let people know when there's a deal, because there are deals out there.
Beautiful. That's why we love you. Every Tuesday in the Main Street Nashville edition, Miss Cheap. Cannot get enough of your articles. Again, thank you for joining us every Tuesday. It means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Stay cheap.
There we go. All right, Miss Cheap, again, joining us. A lot of cool things happening. 22 things in 2022. She always, when I grew up here, and I think I know everything about this town, but always I read her articles, something pops up that tells me that, I need to go do this or do that. So that's why she's so valuable to what we do. All right, we'll take a break. Come back more Mornings on Main Street after this.
Makes as much sense as driving drunk.
All right, there's a T-Dot SmartWay camera looking into I-24 and I-40 east of the Stillman Evans Bridge, which I still don't know what bridge that is. Just tell me that we're going downtown, what's going on. I always hear Stillman Evans Bridge. I'm not sure what that is. But anyway, as I've told you before, if you're coming to the east side to go downtown, far left lane, that way the people that are getting on the interstate, they clog up those right two lanes. I'm writing a book about navigating national traffic, and nobody will read that book. All right, welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. All right, let's bring in my good friend Jared Stillman, 102.5 The Game. Jared, good morning to you, buddy.
How are we doing, Joe?
I'm doing well. When I found out about this Vanderbilt insanity athletic policy about not letting students in for their games, I immediately thought about you because I know you'd have opinions on this matter. I have never seen an athletic department do that. Well, it's probably above the athletic department. A university kick their students out for COVID protocols, yet sell these tickets on the open market. Vanderbilt plays Kentucky. There's going to be no Vanderbilt fans there, all Kentucky. Give me your thoughts on this policy, because I think it's insanity.
So I think it's one of these things where it's almost like a large corporation, but Vanderbilt's not a large corporation. And like a large corporation that has, the head of so-and-so who lives out in Phoenix at the corporate office puts in a policy that affects people that live in Maine. And it's like, well, but that doesn't make any sense for the people who live in Maine.
Right.
Except that this policy is made by the university and it affects the people at the university. I understand the idea of, okay, we want you to be fully vaccinated and boosted, and we want you to show up on campus, and we essentially want you to quarantine for 2 weeks. Okay, like, not to say like whether or not I agree with that, because deep down inside, I probably don't. But like everybody has their opinions on COVID. The idea of, well, we want everybody to quarantine for 2 weeks, so no Vanderbilt students are allowed at the basketball game is laughable. Because I would ask this question to Vanderbilt. Then if that's the case, then why are the students allowed at the basketball game who play? Shouldn't we be worried about the students who play? Like, right. We're letting them go to the game, and obviously they're participating in the game, but we're not letting the students who go to Vanderbilt participate. And I think this is honestly like kind of a sign of who Vanderbilt is. And I'm not going to jump on the athletic department here because I'm not sure how involved, this is Candace Lee's fault or not, the athletic director there. But I would say this. Vanderbilt is always smarter than us. I've noticed this, right? Like Vanderbilt is always smarter than you. So, for example, when it comes to hiring an athletic director a handful of years ago, Vanderbilt was smarter than all of us. We were looking and saying like, okay, they need to go get somebody who really cares about sports or somebody who really understands what it's like to compete in the SEC. And Vanderbilt was like, no. We got the guy for you. And they brought in like the head of the NBA's G League. And we were all like, minor league basketball? They're like, no. We know. This guy's going to be great. They brought in Malcolm Turner. They fired him, I think, less than a year later. But they let him bring in a basketball coach who they signed to this unbelievable contract, and they can't fire him because Vanderbilt knows better. And I think this is the thing I've learned about Vanderbilt. This is why Vanderbilt's not ever going to be any good at sports. And it comes from, the higher part of the university, is that they always know better. It's like they'll look at me and they'll be like, well, Jared, you only went to Louisville and you don't have a master's degree, so we know more than you. And I think this is an instance of that where it's like, hey, our COVID policies, you guys can go do whatever you want, but our COVID policies, we're smarter than you. So let's sell these tickets to Kentucky fans and have our student athletes who apparently can go to the games, even though our regular students can't go to the games, let's put them and subject them to already what is never a home court advantage, but really a home court disadvantage.
I totally agree 100%. And not only this Kentucky game, but it's also they had it last week in South Carolina and the Tennessee game. And you're talking about these games that come to Memorial Gym that as a Vanderbilt fan, you want that home court advantage. I know a lot of Kentucky fans show up, but a lot of Vanderbilt fans would have been there tonight as well. And of course, against Tennessee. And then so you're really hurting a lot of aspects of your athletic program by whoever's making this decision. Because then again, these Kentucky fans are going to buy. It's going to be 99% Kentucky fans there tonight.
Joe, you've been married. I've never been married at this point in my life, but I've been in enough relationships to know that just because somebody tells you they care doesn't mean that they actually care. And this is how I feel about Vanderbilt as a whole, is Vanderbilt tells me that they care about sports, but then they never do anything that shows me that they care about sports. I mean, I've been hearing about Vanderbilt facility upgrades for 15 years, and I've been going to the same facilities. But when it comes to Tim Corbin, and all of a sudden it's like, if Tim Corbin wants something, they automatically do it because I know Tim Corbin cares. And I'll give you an example. Last spring, Tim Corbin went to Knoxville, and they played in front of a packed house at Tennessee. It was a great baseball series. Tennessee was a top 5 team. Vanderbilt was a top 5 team. And Tim Corbin at Vanderbilt comes out after the series and is like, why don't we have full stands? And I remember thinking like, whoa, Tim Corbin's got some marbles to be able to sit there and ask why they don't have full stands. And guess what Vanderbilt did a week later? Full stands. And I'm not Clay Travis. I'm not sitting here taking one side of the argument without thinking that there's some merit to the other side here when it comes to a COVID situation. I'm not a COVID expert, but I'm just telling you, it doesn't make any sense. And so what I've decided is that Vanderbilt doesn't care about sports. And it's for 32 now. So for 32 years, Vanderbilt on one level or another has made it obvious to me that they don't care about sports. And even though they always say we care about sports, and every time they get a new chancellor or they get a new athletic director or they get a new football coach, they come in there and they say, hey, no, we care. We'll show you. Clark Lee takes this job as the Vanderbilt football coach. I wouldn't have come here without the promises they made me. Let's see how that works out for Clark Lee. And while, again, I understand the concept of wanting your students to quarantine, though I feel like in 2022, the idea of actually asking somebody to quarantine, especially a college kid, is probably not really feasible anymore. Right. But while I get it, I, at the same time, am like, well, you obviously don't care about sports because they would never do this for, say, Alabama football or Kentucky basketball. Right. And so it's just another sign. It's example 9,847 that shows that Vanderbilt doesn't actually care about sports.
Remember when Memorial Gym, Jared, would be a home court advantage for Vanderbilt? I mean, it would be a tough place to play. The gym is unique. The benches are behind the goalpost, behind the goals. And it was a tough place to come in there. And now you look at it, it's totally done a 180, and it's really kind of sad.
So I've always told this story, and it's funny, like if you're 15 years old, you don't understand this. And that is that my senior year of high school, which was 2008, Tennessee had the #1 team in the country. Vanderbilt was a top 25 team under Kevin Stallings, and they played on a Monday night in Nashville. Tennessee had gone out on Saturday and beaten #1 Memphis, and it was #1 Tennessee and like number 19 Vanderbilt or something. And that was the hottest ticket in town. Like you could not find somebody with tickets to this game. And I remember going to the game, and there were some UT fans there, but it was a huge Vanderbilt crowd. It was an electric atmosphere. And Shane Foster had like 40-something points, and Vanderbilt knocked off #1 Tennessee. And it was not only the biggest story that day in Nashville, those were the biggest stories in the country. And I remember Memorial Magic back when all these great teams would come in here and they'd always lose because you brought up the elevated court and the baskets on the inline, or the benches on the inline. And now, people in Nashville don't even care. The idea to go to a 15-year-old and say, hey, and there was a point in time where infinitely more people cared about Vanderbilt basketball than care about the Predators. They'd look at you like you're crazy. They're like, you don't know anybody who cares about Vanderbilt basketball anymore. Vanderbilt basketball used to be special. Floyd Reese, my old radio partner, former general manager of the Titans, told me that when they moved here with the Oilers, he was asking kind of what was the big deal in town. And people told him Vanderbilt basketball. And right now, it's like, do you want to go to the Vanderbilt game? I got 47 tickets. Where do you want to sit? And that's what it's turned into. And it's really disappointing. College basketball as a whole has really gone down, but it's really disappointing how Vanderbilt's lack of, their lack of care towards their athletic department has totally ruined their standing in this town as far as sports are concerned.
Again, that's why I got you on for the opinion. 2 to 6 today. I'll be listening. You got, of course, you'll talk Georgia, Alabama, and the Titans, but you have plenty of fodder for Vanderbilt and all the Kentucky fans. And you're going to Louisville. I know you're not a big Kentucky fan, but still, this is going to be fun to talk about and watch and see how this plays out in the next few weeks with Vanderbilt.
I will say this: it's not fun to talk about COVID anymore. Like I've gotten a point in sports where it's like every time you bring it up, it's like, well, this player might be out for the game on Sunday for the Titans, and you'll get somebody that gets in there and yells at you and says that they should just let them all play, and you get somebody in there that says 800,000 people have died. It's like I really just want to talk about whether or not the offensive line can block here, and Vanderbilt bringing a interesting COVID policy to the table certainly is not something that I enjoy talking about, but You're right. There is a lot of fodder there.
There is. Jared, thanks again, brother. I appreciate your opinion and your honesty, man.
Yeah, appreciate you, Joe.
All right, Jared Stillman, 102.5 The Game, Stillman & Company, every weekday, 2 to 6 on 102.5. And like him, love him, whatever, he brings opinion, and so that's why we got him on the show this morning. All right, we'll come back. We'll wrap it up with celebrity birthdays. That's next right here. You're watching Mornings on Main Street.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. You could get arrested. But one thing's for sure, you were wrong when you said it was no big deal.
In a complex world, our greatest strength is our people. Always has been, always will be. Regular Army, National Guard, and Army Reserve. Executing every mission. Preparing for everything. And that's why people matter. Every soldier, every Army civilian, every Army family, every soldier for life. Every one of us. People who make up the best equipped, best trained, best led force in the world. People who serve something greater than themselves. Ready now, investing in the future across every domain. Because in today's complex world, when the stakes are high, America calls its Army. And when that call comes, second place is not an option. We'll remain ready. We'll modernize. We'll compete. We'll fight. And we will win. Because winning matters.
Looking at the east side of town, I-40, Stewart's Ferry coming in. That's the JoJo territory. Friends, that's what we call it, God's country. That's Donaldson, Tennessee. That's where dreams are made. people are uplifted. Best place on earth. That in Key West. Anyway, all right, welcome back to Mornings on Main Street, this final segment today with celebrity birthdays. And if I can find my cursor, we'll get this. Hey, there we go. Welcome back here. All right, intern, come back in. Time for celebrity birthdays. We got a few moments here. I was going to see if Goolsby will join us again today, but I forgot to text him because I wanted to see he gets upset when he loses.
Right, I know.
Oh, my bad. I'm unmuted you. There you go. Sorry. What's that?
I was just saying, I feel bad for the man. You know, it's hard to lose, but
it is.
I'd love for him to come back on so he can get this work.
Consider it a practice round. You ready for this?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. Singer Naomi Judd. You know who Naomi Judd is?
Sounds very familiar.
How old is Naomi Judd?
Let's say she's 57.
She's 76.
Oh, goodness.
The very talented, beautiful Mary J. Blige. How old is Mary J. Blige?
She's actually a great actress as well. Let's say 61.
51. Amanda Peet, the actress who has never been in a good movie, but she's been in 1,000 movies. She was in the movie 2012 with John Cusack. Right. Awful movie, but I can't turn it off.
I know. I agree with that. Yeah, there's a lot of things that happen in it. Let's say she's probably 38.
She's 50.
Goodness, not doing well.
You're not doing well today. Musician Robert Earl Keen. Now, Papa Intern would know who Robert Earl Keen is. Now, does the intern know?
Let's see if the intern knows. 71.
66. You're in the neighborhood. Knocked on the wrong door, though. Guitar player Vicky Peterson of the Bangles. Remember, they were popular in the 80s.
Okay. 67.
64.
That was so close, though.
You are close. You got to get one out of here, man.
Right.
Let's see here. Reality star Jason Waller from Laguna Beach in the Hills. I know you watched that nonsense.
I don't watch that, but if I had to guess, 29.
35.
Okay.
Guitarist Tom Dumont of No Doubt. How old is he?
54.
Yes! 54 exactly.
Yes! Let's go.
Outstanding. That's it. You got to finish on a good note. Also, it's Alexander Hamilton's birthday.
Okay. Shout out to him.
He'd be 200 and something.
What a guy.
What a guy it is. Well done, intern. Good job, man. Appreciate you. Let's thank Jared Stillman, Miss Cheap, Lori Bumgarner for being on the show. The intern will blast all these out. Put them on our YouTube channel to search Main Street Nashville or Mornings on Main Street, and of all the clips there, everything you want to see if you missed anything on the show this morning. Again, we leave you this with every day. Be nice to people, smile, let people in traffic, open doors, wave. Nobody cares about your CrossFit workout unless you're doing it for charity. And as always, remember, nobody ever went broke by giving. We'll see you tomorrow.